I'm Drew Windle. I'm the assistant distance and cross-country coach for Ohio University. Grew up in New Albany, Ohio, which is just northeast of Columbus a little bit. Getting into running was, it started out with a lot of failure. I joined the middle school track team because I got cut from the baseball team. Yeah, I didn't even really understand that track and field was anything you could do professionally to any degree, but I did like immediately the fact that whatever I put into it was what I could get out of it. So I graduated from New Albany High School in 2011. Had a new coach my sophomore year in high school, and he looked at me and decided that I was going to be an 800-meter runner. My senior year in high school, state meet, I ran 151 and won Ohio State championship. Winning that state title really shifted my focus and was like, okay, I should go all in on the track thing. Went to Ashland University, had a great coach in Trent Mack there. A culture of like excellence. The 800 was always kind of my sweet spot. My first individual title was my sophomore year in Birmingham, Alabama. My junior year we won the DMR, and that was just fun to bring 3 other guys along for the ride. Well, I remember sitting on the couch over Christmas break with my mom, and this new professional running team had just started out in Seattle, Washington, and I showed it to my mom and I was like, I want to run for this team after college. I was with Brooks running for 8 years. It's just a different world. You race a lot less than you do in college. Every single racing opportunity you get is against world-class talent. I had 8 years experience with Danny Mackey writing my programming, and I still have all the training logs from my time with him. The only thing Danny thinks about is how to make athletes better. My second year, I had like huge breakthroughs and ended up finishing 3rd at the US Championships to qualify for the World Championship team. I made the semifinal there, and I had a British athlete in my semifinal, and I think he ended up winning the semifinal. Unbelievably loud, like to the point where like there's like 100 meters to go, and I could care less. I knew my result wasn't going to be good enough to get me to the final. I was just like, take all this in. And then the following year, indoors, I finished 2nd at the US Championship to qualify for the World Championships in Birmingham, United Kingdom. I ended up finishing 2nd at the World Championships in 2018, which is definitely the highlight of my professional, well, in my entire running career. After I medaled in 2018, just dealt with a string of injuries, sicknesses, things that I don't necessarily have all the answers for still. It was a solid 3 or 4 years where like the results just weren't coming. Brooks decided not to move forward on giving me a new contract, but decided to walk away after that year and move back home to Columbus. And I think just like over time, I realized that I just needed to take a step back from it and turn my focus towards something else. At first, I wanted to do everything I could to not go into coaching. It was good to realize that, track and field was something that I loved because I loved the sport and not because it was something that I was good at. The end of August rolls around and teams are starting to report for cross-country camp, and I'm sitting there thinking like, all right, well, I'm gonna have to go work for my buddy who runs this plumbing company in Columbus. The job at Ohio University gets posted online, and kind of jumped on it quickly. Coach Peace and I think are really aligned on a lot of things. The best advice I think I could give is just being committed and going all in on some things that are important to you. Being focused on the intention of what your responsibilities are that day. On paper, a 3-mile recovery jog might not seem like a whole lot, but that shapes how the next day goes. And if you're intentional about that recovery day and you're intentional about your workout the next day, these things compound over time. And that's what endurance sport is it's stacking days on days, weeks on weeks. So you have to have a sense of delayed gratification.